Sir. First and foremost want to thank you for your time. You spent a lot of time talking to us here today. I want to thank you for coming and being open and honest. You recommended a book to us earlier. I wanted to recommend a book to you. It's called Art Madhouse by Greg Palast.
Yeah, I have it.
Yeah, he's the top investigative journalist in America.
I've already read it.
And he says you won the 2004 election.
Right.
Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? You won in 2004. In fact, there were multiple reports on the day of the election of disenfranchisement of black voters in Florida and Ohio. I'll ask my question. Thank you very much. Were you a member of Skull and Bones from college and Bush? Were you in the same secret society as Bush? Were you in Skull and Bones? Thank you for cutting my mic. Thank you. Are you going to arrest me? Excuse me. Excuse me. What are you arresting me for? Whoa, 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 whoa. Is anybody watching this? I'm not doing this. I want to do this. Get off me. Get off me. What the fuck are you doing? Get off me. Hey, why are they arresting me? Did someone do something here?
Let me just
I'm being arrested.
Because it's a very important question.
What did I do? Get off me. You know what? Get off me. Get the fuck off me, man. I didn't do anything. Don't tase me, bro. Don't tase me. I didn't do anything. Ow! Ow!
For 8 miles on this South Carolina highway, a trooper pursues a driver who's been speeding. Later, she'll claim she wasn't sure he was a cop and that she wanted to reach a more populated area before stopping.
Cut the car off now! Turn the car off! Roll your window now! Roll your window down now! Turn the car off, put your damn keys! Now, on the ground! On the ground! Now, on the ground!
The driver, a nursing student from Florida, suffers scratches and bruises as she's dragged from her car and handcuffed.
On the ground! Now, on the ground!
The dashcam video, broadcast nationwide, stirs widespread claims of police brutality. In the end, she gets a speeding ticket and a 6-figure legal settlement from the South Carolina Department of Public Safety. And the trooper, an 11-year veteran, gets fired.
You're not going to let me call anybody. You're not going to let me call anybody. No, I need to call somebody.
We have some rules we need to follow.
We need some rules, and I have rules too.
Officer Wiley Willis was required to read her rights, but Garbarino was insistent on making a phone call.
You've got to let me call somebody. No, I'm calling you. You can't not let me call anybody. You can't.
Put your hand on the back.
Are you serious? I have a right to call somebody right now, and I know that. Is this on the record?
Yes, ma'am.
It's good.
Stop pulling away.
No, I'm pulling away. Don't you touch me again. Don't you touch me again.
Seconds later,
You understand, ma'am?
Yeah, I understand.
the officer stops the tape. It's not known what happened while the tape was off, but when it comes back on, Garbarino is lying on the floor in a pool of blood. The officer comes in to look at Garbarino, then walks out. Garbarino's lawyer says she suffered a broken nose, a severe cut on the forehead, 2 broken teeth, and bruises on her arms and shoulder. Attorney Ron Machota says Garbarino was not driving drunk that night. As to what happened at the police station, he says, quote, the whole situation could have been avoided if the officer had followed procedure.
Used the breathalyzer test. He turned, in accordance with standard procedures, he turned off the video and saved it. And at that time, she tried to leave the room again. He tried to stop her, and in that process, she fell and injured herself.
Are you currently serving as a City of Norcross police officer?
Yes, I am.
How long have you been serving in the police force?
I've been with Norcross for about 3 years. I was with another police department for about 3.5, so about 6.5 years.
Okay. During an arrest, have you ever had to use excessive force?
No, I have not.
Okay. Do you think that police violence is ever necessary during an arrest?
Again, it depends on your definition of violence. Essentially, we have the authority to make a lawful, if it's a lawful arrest that we're engaged in, that yes, we will use whatever force is necessary to make that arrest. So no in the excessive, but violence, it depends on your definition of violence. The way I look at that is violence would be something that kind of gets out of hand, and the way we always look at it is this: once a situation has been controlled, once a situation's been contained, we're done. Everything stops right then. There's no anything after that would be excessive. Would be, in my opinion, would be violence, and no, we don't do that.
During your training as a police officer, to what extent was the issue of excessive force discussed?
Well, I've been through 2 different academies, and in both, it's several days worth, because basically there's federal laws, the United States Code that talk about using excessive force, using our badge as means to intimidate people and things like that. And we just don't do that. It's unfortunate that officers have in the past, but as a whole, it's unacceptable, and therefore we don't tolerate stuff like that. Go ahead with.
What are the repercussions faced by a police officer after the use of excessive force?
Well, we have, and again, you've got certain levels. If you were to start with just the police department level, we have standard operating procedures that speak specifically to the use of excessive force. We have basically levels that we can use. I mean, we have just our verbal actually our presence, just our officer presence of being somewhere is actually on our use of force. And it goes all the way up to the deadly force. So and this is not 100% of the time, because sometimes it's different. Every situation that we go into is different. But for instance, if someone is resisting arrest, actively resisting arrest, and they are not going to go without a fight, then we can go one step forward or one step above that. So for instance, if someone was just wouldn't put their hands behind their back or something like that, we could use pressure points, which would be basically soft or hard, empty hand control, things like that, which would be one step further than them just passively resisting. Obviously, we're not going to shoot that person because they don't put their hands behind their back. That would be excessive force. And quite honestly, our SOPs, our standard operating procedure, says you'll be fired, you'll be prosecuted, and you'll go to jail. So.
Okay. So do you think that as a police officer, of course you hold a higher position of authority, do you think that you should face a higher degree of punishment for abusing the law?
I think so. And again, this is my opinion. Other officers probably would say differently, but I think that it takes a higher, or probably not higher, but the highest amount of morals and I guess you'd say, legal, I'm not sure what the right word for it is, but maybe the legal responsibility more so than anybody else, because we know the law, we're required to enforce it, and we have the ability of taking people's civil liberties away, and I don't take that lightly, and no officer should take that lightly. So yes, if we violate that, and we are held accountable, we're held to a higher level. USC 41, there's various other ones that basically say that if we were to arrest somebody just because of the fact that they're male or female or something like that, or religion or whatever the case may be, we are held at a higher level. And so therefore, yeah, I agree with that 100%. That there's no excuse for us violating the law. I mean, who polices us, that kind of thing. So we have to be held to the highest possible level. So yes, I think so.
All right. Well, thank you for answering my questions.
You're welcome.